Caleri here.
John Hodge is here.
John Caleri here.
Okay. Start out like we always do, minutes from the Board of Selectmen, 7/24/17.
I've read that one already. I move that we accept the minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting dated July 24th, 2017.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, we'll move on to the minutes for the non-public meeting for 7/24/17.
Again, I've read them already. I move that we accept the minutes from the Board of Selectmen minutes, non-public meeting dated July 24th.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me.
Alright, next thing will be the 05 Crown Victoria bids.
We received
We actually
two.
got some?
We got two.
No,
One at 8:15 in the morning and one at 12:21 the same day.
I am a little bit confused. Are they offering to pay, or are we paying them to take it?
No, they're offering to pay. It could
Okay.
be $1.
And if
They're sealed.
everybody's benefit, basically that's the Randy's old chief's car. So,
Or it's also described as one of the holes in the rocket panels.
who's bidding on that?
Are they requesting you to pay?
Yes.
With the tow charge.
Alright, the first bid I have, I submitted a bid for the 2004 Crown Vic, $351. Randy sold it. Think he has attachment,
So many.
he has attachment issues or what?
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, to the Board of Selectmen's office from Douglas Vogel.
Oh,
I
gee.
believe Lieutenant now? On our police department. I bid $508 for this 2005 Crown Victoria, and he gives his name and address. Okay. So,
Do you want to hang on to it or you want to get rid of it? What's your pleasure?
the only other choice is to junk it through Lambert's or a metal file. I mean, I don't think you get that much money.
You get
$300 for it.
350. Which is maybe why Randy offered 351.
That's right.
I think I've got to take, $508 before I take $351.
Yeah.
I agree, I would
Have a
accept
motion?
that bid. I
Make a
move that
motion?
we accept the bid from Officer Vogel in the amount of $508 for the 2005 Crown Victoria.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Winner, chicken dinner.
No, I'm guessing that it's already been demarked, so it's no longer a police cruiser.
I think the decals are still on, but it won't take much to get those off. So. That'll be part of Vogel's job to do that, bring them to. You own it now, take them off. Alright, cool, that was done. Highway block grant.
Recycle bin.
Okay, so recently Rick came over and told me that we might be getting extra money from the highway block grant. So the check did come in. It's for $52,422.56.
Above the old, we already.
What do we
About
normally
what we-
get,
Um,
roughly?
like 58,000.
So it's
almost, yeah.
Almost double.
Okay, so I called and I'm like, well, what do we do with this money? You have to vote
Okay.
first to accept the money because it's
Three of us
unanticipated.
vote.
Yeah,
versus
you have to
town.
vote. And it's intended to help the highway department for something extra that was not budgeted on. So I'm not saying you have to vote on what you spend it on, you just have to vote to accept it, and then you'll have to have a meeting to figure out what you wanna spend it on.
Okay.
But it's surplus money, there was like, I think they said 3 million? Yeah,
It's not surplus taxpayer money.
I did print,
What's that say?
Money, once they get, they don't want to give back.
I printed the RSA that says you have to accept money over 10,000, so.
Okay.
And it's, no funds appropriated shall be used for supplementing local budgeted and approved funds for road or bridge maintenance or construction. So nothing that you budget, but I printed all the BSB.
So
just
if
so
Rick
you
had a
can
road
read
that
it.
he wanted to finish up paving, it was not on budget and stuff like that, he could do it.
Right,
Okay.
but usually it should be maintenance or construction is what she said.
Oh.
So like the salt shed, if you wanted to put money towards, cause that's something that we didn't budget, you could.
John going like,
Interesting,
ooh.
I was thinking of a road,
Cause she
but-
was saying construction
Salt
like
shed.
a
Yeah, the fuck you
building
have
of
in
some
there.
sort or something, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, maintenance or construction is what she kept pushing.
when do we have to approve by, when do we have to spend by?
I don't think it says.
I just want to put it down and say the use.
Doesn't state it.
But you just have to accept it before we can spend it.
I would think you would want to spend it for the next town meeting. Otherwise, you get, for example, if we do something in the salt shed right now, we're okay. But if we appropriate money in March for the salt shed with the idea of using this, now we're getting tangled up with what the intent was. Okay.
So this is not an RSA that we have to buy, but it's just telling me how we should proceed to accept it then.
Right, that's because you cannot spend unanticipated money without accepting it.
Okay,
First.
so we have a motion to accept the highway block grant money,
Additional money.
for $52,422.56. Do I have that? Have a motion? for
I
that?
so move.
Have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Take the money.
So then at one of your next meetings that you have, you can discuss how you
Well,
want
what
to
we can do is that,
spend it.
for the highway, we let Rick
Yep.
come over, the next Monday would be the department head thing, so give him a chance to think about it, so.
Laura, is Rick even aware of it?
Yeah,
Okay, so
he's well aware.
I agree, if he could come in next week with some rough ideas, doesn't have to be finalized plans, but just some rough ideas of how to spend it. Good? Good.
Cool. That was an easy one. School lights.
You want me to talk?
Yep, you can if you want.
At the March 2017 town meeting, it was voted to spend, I believe it was $6,000 for the purchase and installation of better traffic signals for the school zone. That was based on some quotes that we got from various companies for both electric signs and solar signs, all of which would have some sort of flashing light rather than just a sign saying 20 miles an hour when school children are present. All right. I have two quotes. I've asked, who was it that came by? Oh, I asked the electrician who would be installing this if he had any preference in terms of installation. I'm looking for information from you two. Chief, thank you for coming tonight. I'd like to get your input. Have you seen the specs already?
I have you.
Okay. Have you seen the specs?
This morning, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So is a bid of $4,900, almost $5,000, $4,950. There's another one for $3,150. Neither one includes the installation. We have to install it ourselves, okay? The more expensive one includes things like a cement base. I'm not sure how well that would go with highway department, but doesn't matter. I can tell you that the electrician that I hope does this said the lower price one looks like would work fine. I'm interested in any input from you folks.
Okay, I guess the notes are, basic, some questions come up, is like, this one here that has the two yellow blinking lights, how hard is it to be replaced the lights? Whereas this one here has the little LED lights surrounding the outside perimeter of the sign, and they move like this,
Is
flashing.
there also a yellow flashing light above it?
So, no, it's
No,
just
the
those.
question is it easier like how hard is it to do the ones that have the little dots?
Right.
Like do you have to
Versus the big
replace
lights.
the whole sign? Or do you, you know, that was a question, or is it easier to get the one with the yellow lights, you just replace the bulb?
Right.
Like that was brought up.
Now, the problem is, this one here is a higher quote than what we asked for at the town meeting, by a lot more money. This one here with the LED would fit into the $6,000 that we had. This one here is $49.50 each sign, so that's close to $10,000. So, you know.
I'm not an electrician, those LEDs last forever, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
The
They don't,
LEDs,
yeah, they don't
they
take
may
any,
be,
they don't
well,
use
the
any,
LEDs have been
they
made
use
for
like
us.
0 power anymore. I mean, they're,
So-
they're advanced, I would,
How did you decide, or you talked with somebody at the lights? When I read the quote, I thought it was 4,900 for two.
Cause
One
it says
to
one
one.
in the,
Two sections, LED with visor, two vertical sign.
Oh, so that is true.
One control time clock. Okay,
Okay. Well, okay, I saw the
Then I
one,
read
I
it
figured
wrong.
they should give it.
I'm sure they're both LEDs, nobody uses bulbs anymore.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
okay.
more
just-
people preferred the one with the yellow bulbs when I
Yeah.
surveyed.
What do you think,
this
chief? Which
He
is gonna be
wanted
the
the
most,
yellow ones.
out there that's, I mean,
I think the one with the yellow bulbs just fits like the demeanor of the town more, maybe the atmosphere, but I think either one would work for whatever you guys are looking to do.
to me, it makes no difference to me either. I mean, as long as it works, that's all I care about. So, I'd hate to think that we go with the LED one, and if the bulbs go bad or the short circuit, you replace the whole sign just to replace the bulbs.
You have to ask the manufacturer out there.
That was made and designed to be replaced and done not, so.
Yeah.
It seems to me like that one flashing large bulb is far more eye-catching than,
Okay. So you're, chief, you're saying this one?
I'm just thinking traditional, everybody's used to seeing
Yeah,
the upper
okay.
and lower bulb, but
I can clarify the quote if you want, I mean,
Okay.
before you actually purchase them. Make sure that that's the price for two complete sets of signs.
what about, do they have video demonstration or anything, so you can see if the LED's obnoxious, or if it's like a slow flash, I don't know.
Oh, they're gonna be pretty bright, and they really pierce the eyeball like anything. I mean, look at the Christmas lights and stuff like that, people, those are hard on the eyeball when you look at them, but this thing's, ooh, up there, so.
would the school have any input on it?
Nope,
No.
They're the ones that gotta control it.
nope.
They don't control it?
Police department,
Oh, the police department?
Yeah, they don't want control of it for the liability.
they want the, that's right, they want the liability about it, so.
Okay,
But they're gonna have to be very, very mindful about delayed school openings, days canceled because of weather. They need to be on top of letting these guys know.
so then there is some coordination that's required from them in order to make this work.
They're gonna have to be, absolutely.
Hey, how about that?
Imagine.
How about that? Yay!
Oh, we're not there yet. So,
Yeah.
the intent is. So,
There was a comment about that in the newspaper, by the way.
So,
this one?
if, could you call them tomorrow, Gene, Michael, Carnes, confirm that this is one setup with two lights, two directions?
If that's the case, is that the one you wanna go with?
Yes.
So
That
we get
still
it
leaves
loaded?
money to have it installed.
I mean, this is August, and school starts just after
Right.
first of
So
September.
if this
we need
is
them
for
in, so-
all of it, then I'll get that one.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll ask about how you change the lights and stuff, too, just to make sure.
I think we should probably be in good shape. though.
Yeah.
Alright,
All right. They talked about 2-week delivery time. The electrician is willing to move it to the head of their work list to get it done. Okay.
All right, we'll move on to the police carport entryway.
We need to, just to make sure I don't want to get lost in the shuffle, but we had Mark Susi and Doug Gregory come over to look at what the chief wanted done with the carport and the doorway, and those are their quotes.
When did Mark Susi drop his off? I thought he was,
He emailed it to me.
oh, okay, I thought he was on a big project. And either one of them say when they're available? Okay.
This is from Doug Gregory Company, scope of work, job 1, install 2 walls on either side of the back door from building to support post of carport with acrylic windows to prevent blind spots. Quote for job 1, $1,750. Job 2, install a ceiling of plywood with lights just over cars. Quote for job 2 is $2,500. Job 3, install a ceiling of vinyl soffit material with lights over entire ceiling. Quote for job 3 is $3,500. Total is $7,750.
And that's Doug Gregory.
Doug Gregory.
Okay.
Okay, advanced construction services. Basically it says strap ceiling 2 foot on center and install middle galval ceiling, metal roofing panels with no edge trims. Build 2 8-foot walls and install 2 3x3 vinyl windows. T1 11 exterior on walls and a $250 allowance for siding on exteriors. No moving of electrical for walls. Install motion sensor and 2 LED light on ceiling in carport using existing power supply. Note, caution must be taken, there's only one circuit out there and it powers the existing outside LED wall pack on the pole, and if not careful, motion will shut off both lights. Okay, and that meets all the criteria. Total cost $5,780. So it's kind of like two kind of separate things in a way. So,
How are they separate?
well, I mean, this guy's doing some motion sensors, and there's nothing involved with motion sensors in this one. So I don't know if there's a big difference in that.
Apples
But,
and oranges,
yeah. So
clarification on both of them.
about two walls with windows and stuff like that. No, go for it.
The request was to close in the top of the carport. It's all
Okay.
open, so there's like nests and beehives and stuff.
Alright,
And then where the door is to close in the wall, put walls up, so the snow doesn't come in.
with it, what door,
The downstairs
The exterior
entryway.
door?
The exterior door has that little eave, like to close in the sides of the eave,
so,
and put the lights, the motion lights in the carport. That's what was
so
asked.
the 2 walls come out from the door going into the building.
Mm-hmm.
They're not 2 walls of the carport.
No, just of your doorway, you have your little peak and you have your 4x4 holding up your roof, your little, to close that in. Just so it's not full of snow and stuff in the winter.
Is that 1.5 feet out?
No, probably 3 or 4 feet out.
3, 4?
2 walls.
How does someone get the attention of the police department when they come down there and you don't really have a doorbell or anything, you know?
No, there's a sign that instructs them a number to call for dispatch. And dispatch lets us know somebody's there.
If you have your cell phone, that won't work.
I don't know, tell me about it. We need a tower.
And you're going to enclose the roof of the carport.
Yeah, that was just a thought when they were talking about building improvement because birds nest up there, and then you know they do their business on the cruisers, and the wasp nests are up there, and they fall, and then I don't want officers getting stung coming in and out. And just it was purely suggestive for building improvement reasons.
Before we approve either one, is this part of this year's budget?
I don't think we have anything in the budget for this year.
No.
Okay.
So it's like a capital improvement type plan thing.
I don't know how much we have left. There you go.
What are you looking at? What?
That'd have to be in a building maintenance, I would think.
We only have 1,900 in this building for repairs and stuff, because we didn't budget
Oh,
more
wow.
than 3,500, we just budgeted for regular
Yeah.
maintenance and stuff. But I mean, you could budget it for next season, I guess, if you wanted to finish it. It's up to you.
Alright, so the door is functional, it's just that snow blows in a lot.
Yeah, it's
Because
very,
it's
it's very,
all outside.
that's a low priority.
Okay.
It's just, you could be gone for 30 minutes and you come back and there'll be like a 2-foot snowdrift in front of the door. And obviously, I'm not worried about us too much, but you know, somebody comes in and reports something, and
Right.
so when people are falling and hurt themselves.
You wanna table it, so we can think about it, take a look at it ourselves?
Yeah, and I wanna see if there's any other place for money,
Okay. So we just table it to next Monday?
you know.
We'll have plenty of time to look at it by then. So.
Yeah, it's not gonna snow in between now and then.
No,
hopefully.
if it does, then we're in good shape. Alright, so if there's nothing else into the signature action items, we'll go to old business, regional planning representative. Get any takers, Laura?
Maybe.
Good.
I did talk to Pastor Tom today. He was supposed to call me with his answer, but I think he's interested. So
Okay.
I wouldn't, but he's gonna need an alternate, so I didn't know if one of you wanted to be the alternate. I mean, the alternate didn't do anything last time, but at least to be,
Right.
to make him feel better that there is a second person.
If no one else, I'm glad we,
Okay.
and if he can't go, or we can both go.
Okay. Thank you.
Good deal.
It's certainly worthwhile
Okay,
to
so,
be part of.
Okay, so I'll convince him to do it.
When did you talk to him?
that's it.
Today, I had him come over and read the letter and
To tag
it's
Rick.
only one
Because I
meeting a
talked to him,
month.
because I talked to him this morning about it, he didn't know about it when I talked to him.
Oh, I called him, oh, maybe after you. I was
I
like,
wouldn't convince him, I would just say there's a position we want you to do.
well, I did
Give it
that,
to him.
and he came over and I told him it was only one day a month, and there's not a lot to do.
They feed you?
They do?
No, they don't.
I'll just,
Get a snack bag.
I have, Mr. Chairman, I have 2 other items that talk about under old business. if we could.
Alright, go ahead.
Any more information on the August 19th electronics, metal, any hours or any
8 to
price
12.
list?
8 to 12, the prices are on the website, they're on the Facebook page, and I have flyers in my office for people that come in.
Okay. We are making no effort to make sure that it's town residents, right, just anybody that brings the stuff in
Right.
there.
Because you have to pay for it, so.
Yeah, so if they're gonna
Right.
pay, yeah.
Okay, all right, and the electronics will be here again,
At the highway barn, and then metal is down at the pit.
and
And
the tires are down at the pit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 categories that we worry about. Okay.
I think we added printers
But they come up here,
and
right?
microwaves to our thing, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Speaking of waste management and such, are we proceeding, I think we are, with the use of stickers for the items,
We
for the
can,
waste,
Yeah,
the
but-
bulk pickup in October?
Yeah, I mean,
so we need to order those.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, do we need to order them?
yeah.
How many do you recommend I order?
Well, if we don't have a date on it, stuff like that, we can put the dates in ourselves. And it depends how you make them, how they're made, I mean,
If you order
Right,
a bunch
so
that
it's
you're
color.
using this year, if you leave the date out,
Right,
you
I
can
think
use them
they're-
next year.
Yeah, I don't think they're dated
They're like a
anyways.
generic form that
Yeah.
the town.
that's what I'm wanna find out, because I don't wanna order something for 2017 and then buy
Yeah.
500 and all, you got
I don't
200 out.
I
We
think they're
bought
just
300 for no
colored.
reason, so.
They're just colored and big, and it says like bulk item on it. I don't think
Okay.
it's like bulk item October,
I mean,
it's
I
just.
probably what?
We could write a date on it, if that,
Yeah, we put out permanent markers, no, I do. Well, you figure probably enough for 2 for each resident in town, 850, be 1,700, get 2,000 of them.
I would think,
You don't use them.
2,000. Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna use them over and over again, so I mean, I
and
if we get more money for bulk and they want 2,500, I go 2,500 if it's cheaper. So,
also, in conjunction with this, Laura, could you start advertising it on our website and however else we contact people?
That's
Now,
3
do we
months'
have
notice.
prices for these things?
It was $10 for each sticker.
$10 for each sticker.
Isn't that
Okay.
what we voted on last time?
we said $10, that was this going rate
Right.
for everybody else around the area, so.
Sticker. And they can buy them here, they don't get any right up front, free, no, we didn't, I
Right.
missed the meeting.
I suggested free and that was
No.
really shot down.
So they can get them here.
Well, what we can do for this year, we'll we'll have them pay for it, but at the next meeting and stuff like that, see other townspeople wanna do it, you know, if they like it this way, if they want, I mean,
People are pretty strongly opposed to the Freeman's.
And each item needs its own sticker,
Right.
so they
Yes.
can buy 4 or 5 if they want, as long as
Right.
they're, okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
And it's gonna be only for the bulk, right, cause we're gonna stay with this 2 times a year for the bulk, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Cause people might come in and say, wow, I got a sticker, I put it up there, they didn't pick it up, wow.
Yeah.
They gotta
I'll make
No.
sure that that's
Twice a
understand
year.
that,
okay.
Okay.
cause I don't know if other towns, they do it maybe more frequently because it's a bigger town or something, but yeah.
My gut feeling is like there'll be some feedback. But I think, you know, there'll be some, maybe some issues that come up that we didn't see, whatever. We'll have to, you know, just fine tune the whole
I
system
will
as we
stress in
go.
the paper that this is purely because we have exceeded what was anticipated because we had illegal dumping, et cetera.
Well, if you have do
Is
bulk
this-
up in a year, and you don't exceed it, all of a sudden the first bulk pickup, you've gone way over. I mean, you
Will
can't
the
do that.
will the $10 cover Middleton's costs on pickup?
Yeah.
I don't know if we cover it, but it'll certainly help with the freight. Okay.
So I'm pretty, you probably won't have any biting stickers because there's all going the first time around.
Right.
You got nothing
It'll
left.
be interesting to see how many you sell.
Yeah.
All right, so nothing else on old business?
No.
John?
No, sir.
Laura?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move into new business, and we have a resident complaint, and that would be the floor to Kevin Fortner.
I got paperwork if you guys wanna read it. You guys probably read it, the selectmen probably read it.
Is that the email you sent?
Yeah.
Yes, we got it, but, all right,
I
that's
have
good,
another one
thank you.
here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then I got, like, these are emails, we correspond. Whoever reading out, who like starts on the bottom and it goes up.
Yeah,
All
we'll
this
stop at the bottom, go to the top.
Yeah. You remember this one? Well,
Sure. Sure, yeah.
I think papers are. All set. All right, got one.
I'm all set, thank you.
The last page of this one has a Facebook posting where I wrote a review on what I felt the Middleton Police Department was, and I had a message that he left afterwards from his private Facebook page. So anyways, I talked to the state troopers, they told me I have to talk to you guys first about this before I pursue it any further. And I don't feel comfortable in my own town that I pay taxes in, because I feel like I'm getting retaliated against. After he threw me out of his office, I walked out. I didn't want to be confrontational because I didn't want to get arrested or anything, and he followed me to my motorcycle, and he walked around looking at it. I mean, there's a difference if you're admiring a bike or you're looking at it. And then I said, what are you looking at? He goes, I'm trying to see if it's inspected. So what other reason is there to look at your bike unless you're like, hey, you just set up, you don't like my police department, so I'm going to screw you over. I mean, point blank, and that's unacceptable for a police chief to be doing. So, I mean, if he wants to, I'd be happy if he wants to resign and everything can just go away. I'd be all for that, because I don't want to pursue anything any further. I got enough going on right now, but if you guys don't do something about it, or if he doesn't resign, I'm going to pursue it further.
Well, I can speak of myself, Kevin, I mean, nothing personal, because we have a good relationship like that, but if that's what you think you need to do, you do what you have to do.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just giving the option, because you can still have a job at somewhere else, but if I pursue it at the Attorney General's level, you know, he loses his police badge. So that's an option. If you want to leave, you can leave.
No.
Okay.
So,
Because I mean, there's so many lawyers that want to jump on stuff like that, because they hate having cops that abuse their power, and that's what that's an abuse of power. And if you guys can't protect your own residents, that says a lot. Because a lot of people in this town aren't very happy with this.
I'm still somewhat in the dark about this whole procedure, so I'm hoping either you or the chief can enlighten me as to what the procedure is. It's a
what happens is my wife filed a restraining order against
restraining order.
Yeah. So basically, towns have written procedures. You know, it's like every place they have written procedures. So the police department will say, if it's longer than a half hour, we'll charge you 4 hours detail. But if you don't have a written procedure, you can go to say, if it's your buddy, oh, we'll just let you go for however you want. Or you can say, oh, this guy I don't like, so it's gonna be 8 hours. You know, you gotta have a written procedure for something like this in the town. And I just said, I'm not paying for anything if there's not a written procedure.
Who issues a restraining order?
Anybody, you just can go up to the courthouse and give them 260 bucks. You're gonna get one.
In this particular case, who did?
My wife against me, because she has an attorney. That's what he's doing.
Through the Middleton Police.
No, well, I don't know. I guess so. I think it was originally probably through the Middleton Police. I'd say.
there's no, yes, Chief, do you have any more information about the whole thing, that from like, what he's talking about?
Which part are you referring to?
Well, I mean, this started, what, a couple, 2-3 weeks ago? Am I fair in saying
Yeah, it was
that?
2 weeks ago because it was a motocross races every other weekend.
So,
No one's-
having said that, you have a restraining order from your wife that you can't go near your property.
Exactly.
You guys are going through a personal issue, obviously.
Yep.
Okay, so having said that, okay, the next thing is you get the restraining order. Was it issued from here, or?
I don't know. I got a call from, I can't remember his name now. I was in Derby, Vermont, and I got a motocross race, and said that I had one against me, and I was like, okay, so what does that mean? Because I've never had to deal with this before. And he was like, well, I don't remember, but I didn't want to, like, cause my friend's kid, you know, was racing, and I don't want to upset the whole thing, so I was trying to, you know, keep it quiet. And then, so I just, whatever, I dropped it, and I was like, I just asked him to just give me information, because obviously he had my phone number, so he could have texted me something, you know, but he never did. So when I got done, I went to, by the time, you know, the cell phone reception in Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, it's all AT&T and I have Verizon, so I couldn't really do much. So when I got to Stratford Hollow, I called the dispatch, and she said, well, the guy was gone. So,
which dispatch?
your dispatch. Well, whatever your dispatch number is, you know, after hours or whatever.
Stratford Dispatch.
That would be Stratford County.
Okay, whatever the phone number is on, I hit, you know, the call this thing on their website. And so they told me, so I said, I'm going to be in Berlin, and I know the cops in Berlin, so could you send it over there? Because I know they'll give me a good explanation, you know, because I'm good with them. And so I went over there, and it was a new guy I never met before. I've been over there for 11 years now, so, and he explained to me what was going on. I said, okay, cool, you know. So he said you have to go through the police department now to get your belongings if you want them.
Okay, so, You reached out to somebody to get your belongings?
Yeah, originally I called, I had to go back up to get my, because it was a crappy morning, so I go to my friend's pickup. I left my motorcycle behind in Berlin. And so I went down and I worked half a day, and I went to go get a lawyer and all the stupid stuff you have to do. And then I called here the next day to see if I could get my, if they could see if I could get my passport. For my sister's coming up from here, well, she's from here now, from Colorado. So my grandparents live in Quebec, so I need my passport to go to Quebec to go visit them. They haven't seen us together for at least 15 years. So whatever, that's done. It's not gonna happen now. So I wanted that and some fishing and hunting, not hunting, but fishing and camping gear, so I could go up north and just get away and fly fish. And so anyway, talked to a female officer, I don't know her name, and she was good about it. She's like, yeah, you need stress relief, mountain biking and stuff like that. It's good when you're going through something like this, So then, I haven't heard back anything yet. From Berlin's 2 hours. And then I hung out with some friends for a while, so it's another 2 hours. Another 2 hours and back. And so I called on the way back to see if anything happened, if I had stuff dropped off here or not. And I got this other guy, it wasn't the female officer. I said, anything happened? No, she hasn't dropped anything off yet. So I said, well, could you please ask her to put my mail in at the same time, because I had a bunch of stuff coming in. And so he was like, I'm not here to be your servant, or I don't know, so along those lines. So I was like, well, I'm a taxpayer, so you're my employee, you're employed by me. I said, I'm not asking for much, go do that. So then he got grouchy again, so the conversation ended. And then, so that's what I was trying to tell him, is communication's terrible in this department. Nobody calls you back. Then he called me, so I was staying at the governor's inn, because I didn't know what my wife was gonna do, because she's like, the stuff that she's going at, and I have a bunch of friends that work there, so they're like, just stay here, we'll get you a good rate, and plus we can tell everybody that you're here, and we'll keep an eye on you, And so I stayed there, and he called, it's supposed to be at 4:15, called at 5:15, whatever, people get busy. And he said, come on over here, and then that whole mess happened after I was saying, he needs to have stuff do a better job with communication, and needs to start having procedures written down, because you can't just say on a whim what it's going to be, not, it's a professional organization. And then that whole comment that he put on my Facebook review, that's total unbelievable. I mean, that's so out of line, unprofessional. There's nothing good to say about that comment. Total hothead. That guy needs to go. It's going to cost you guys so much money further down the road. Look at him. He can't even sit still.
Am I supposed to sit still?
Yeah.
We don't, okay guys, we don't have to do it right now.
No. I know, but I'm just saying, if you guys can decide, let me know. I'd like to have, you guys have a week to think about it. But if you guys,
A week or what?
to give me an answer what you're going to decide to do. And if you're not, I'm going to go pursue it further. I'll give you guys a week to talk about it.
Is that because of his actions, or
Because of his actions, because of him retaliating by looking to see if my motorcycle wasn't inspected, what was he going to do? So if I drive through here and he's looking for my truck, because everything I own is very obvious, because I have stuff that sticks out. Was he gonna give me a fine, pull me over, try to, you got DWI? I can't trust this guy because of the way his actions are.
I'm still quite confused on the whole procedure.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got a restraining order from someone, but you're not sure.
No, I'm not sure the procedure of the whole restraining order thing. I know my wife filed a restraining order against me. That means I can't just drive up and grab my mountain bike out of my garage. That's all that means.
So if he wants anything, he has to contact either through the court system, through the attorneys, to get a court order, to have the sheriff's department assist you get your stuff.
Well, that's the point I'm getting at. There are different levels, different organizations of police.
But in normal circumstances, you go through your local police department.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out, because I don't personally know that.
Yeah. That's what I found out.
I've never had to deal with a restraining order, but I've had to deal with cases of eviction notices and so forth.
Yeah.
It's handled by the sheriff's department,
Yeah.
not by the local police.
See, I thought that too, so I went to, on the way back from Berlin on my bike, there's a sheriff that was parked on, from Carroll County, that was parked on the side of the road. So I stopped over and I talked to him, and I said, you know, well, actually, the police officer in Berlin told me I had to go through my local PD. And then I was having issues, and I asked him, I said, what happens if you have issues with your local PD and they're not cooperating with you? He's like, well, they're supposed to.
You received a piece of paper that's a restraining order.
Yeah,
On that piece of paper, did they say who issued it?
my wife.
You'll
Or,
be issued through the court.
It
yeah,
happened
it went through the Stratford County Courthouse.
Did you have a third party representative
For what?
to talk to your wife through a third party?
That's what the police department's supposed to do.
No, not necessarily.
I know, but if they're a good police department, they wanna help out
No,
the
but
citizens.
on your court order, how are you supposed to contact your wife, your
I
ex-wife?
can't. It's either, I can't like, I can't have Bill go and see if she wants to.
The only way I would know it has to work is through the attorneys, and that's the only way you
Or
can
the
do it.
police department can do it. Then
Well,
you,
that's the point I'm trying to determine. When you say the police department can do it, the experience I've
I
had
think
with,
we're locked up in something that doesn't really matter, because the whole thing has actions towards
well,
me.
to
Due
me,
to
it
this.
does matter because
Why?
I'm trying to figure out the order of things. That the Berlin Police Department got involved, a sheriff sitting on the side of the road got involved.
Well, the Berlin Police Department got involved because his officer didn't explain things to me, so I had it faxed to the Berlin Police Department. My orders, like, I have to sign it to say, yes, I accepted it.
Right.
So I had them fax it there, and then that way I knew I'd be in an environment where I'd get, you know, because they're a professional police department. They, you know, the chief's very good over there.
Yeah, because the point I'm trying to make is, when I've had to deal with evictions
Mm-hmm.
of tenants,
Yeah.
it has always been through the sheriff's department.
Yeah, many things are through the sheriff's department.
Right.
I
I'm
couldn't
trying
do-
to determine
Yeah.
how this is handled, and I don't know whether anybody knows, the chief.
Well, I guess I would ask the chief of police,
Right.
what is your protocol? I mean,
Yeah.
You
So
hear
here's the
both
thing,
sides.
this is a multi-level thing. I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability, please feel free to tell me if I'm wrong in something.
I don't know much about it, so.
Well, the restraining order is just, one party thinks the other party is a credible threat to their safety, the court says, hey, you cannot abuse this person, you have to leave him alone. Now here's the thing where Mr. Fortin and I tend to disagree. I give them on practice, if we can help people, we will do a standby, which I offer to do. The restraining order is to relieve A party from B party's abuse. And sometimes that abuse is just being in their life and bugging them and being around because they want him to relieve and the relief and say, hey, I'm trying to make a decision, I'm afraid of this guy, whatever their situation is.
Just trying to get up on a divorce.
That happens, and I told you that in my office, that happens. That's why I said I don't judge people just based on restraining orders alone. It can happen, I've seen them where they're abused, I've seen them where they're needed. So, under the restraining order, it's a very strict order from the court saying that A party is not to have any contact with B party through third persons, emails, communication, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty much leave them the hell alone until we tell you you can't talk to them again. Generally, if both parties are somewhat cooperative, the police department will say, hey, we'll do a standby so you can gather your belongings. What's required under the law is simply your toiletries, your medication, stuff like that, so the person can go somewhere else and stay away from them as the court ordered. In the situation like with Mr. Fortin, he wanted to grab a bunch of things like passports, camping gear, and all that stuff, which I have no problem with as long as the other party is willing to do so. But there's technically, this is one of those gray areas in the law, that there's nothing that says the police department can violate a judge's order. I mean, the President of the United States can't violate a judge's order, so sure as hell the police department can't do it either. But it's always been kind of left alone and not really touched. So I said, hey, if the other half is willing to let you get some stuff, I'd be happy to do so. But where everything started falling apart, and I'll give you, I lost my temper a little bit with the gentleman because he came in, he was saying Wade was an idiot, who he's clearly not, probably the smartest person I know, who only works on Sundays, that's why he didn't get back there, because he only works part-time. He said Burke was a jerk and needed to be fired, which I don't necessarily agree with. Sometimes people have disagreements, but I try to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, I'm usually pretty good at talking to people, so I will sit down and talk to the gentleman. When you call, the reason I wanted you to come in is because I feel you can do better communication face-to-face than you can through emails and text messages and shit like that. So, he came in, I already knew that he was short-tempered about the whole thing. So yeah, you said I did come in expecting him to be yelling at me and be kind of, you know, a jerk, if you will. And when we got in the office, I thought it was going well. We were kind of talking stuff. I was laughing. He was laughing. I was like, okay, I think I'm building a rapport with this guy. But then when he started telling me how to run the police department. Now, side note for the record, I just want to make sure I wasn't wrong, because I'm new to this. I'm not saying I'm right in everything I do. I checked with other departments, so like we don't have policies on it. That's just our department practice. So the practice is, if I told him, and for the record, Milton and Farmington are both 15 minutes. If it's longer than 15 minutes, you have to get a detail officer. So I said to him, I said, hey, our policy, or I mean our practice is, any longer than 20 or 30 minutes, so I was giving him more time to gather your stuff, you have to hire a detail officer. And then when he said, well, what does that entail? I tried to explain it to him. My opinion was you snapped, I thought, at me, and you got really mad. He was like, that ain't gonna happen. And then I said, well, yes it is. And one thing I learned when I was a kid, you don't go back and forth. If people aren't gonna make, you know, if you just get to a point where obviously we weren't gonna have any reasonable ground. Maybe I did get frustrated because I said, look, here's a situation where I'm not able to reason with this guy. So I was like, get the F out of my office. I can't talk to you. You're disrespectful, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, I probably wasn't the best choice of words. And I did say,
No, not for a professional person, but
okay, well,
versus a guy off the street.
I consider myself professional for the most part, but I have a temper just like everybody else. I'm human, I make mistakes. So yeah, I walked him out. Honestly, I wasn't gonna walk him out, but then I was worried he was gonna do something with my, you know, the department's brand new cruiser sitting there, so I'll just follow him out. And then I noticed he parked his bike pretty close to my car where most people wouldn't have parked, so I kind of went over there and stood there. I just wanted to make sure he left, and he left fine. He didn't yell and scream like I thought he was going to. And he just drove out and left. You know, maybe I didn't take it well, but then later he smashed into the department and saying that we're disrespectful, blah, blah. And when I replied, I personally truly did not mean to reply from my own personal website. I'm not that technical with that stuff, and I was on my phone. And I just, you saw the comment I said I don't do well with people that take their anger out on everybody else. Because I was legitimately honestly trying to help you. I was trying to resolve the situation so you would be happy. But when I realized I couldn't resolve it with you, and then I was like, wow, this is going to be one of those guys who's going to be bashing us on Facebook now and causing problems. And I wanted at one point to call you and say, can we try to work this out?
So you should have done.
Well, after I found out you wanted to file a complaint and everything, I didn't want you to think that, hey, he's just calling me now to apologize because he's afraid of the complaint. I own my mistakes.
I talk to people. I used to be a union representative. I know how to deal with people.
So I'm still here. I'm saying, hey, if you want to squash it, and I apologize. If I
But
was
you did
rude.
not. My bike was nowhere near anybody's car because there was nothing there.
Well,
And then no, it was not because I was near the building and. You looked at it and stared and looked around all weird at it, and you said, "I said, what are you looking for to see if it's inspected?"
Well, I can
You,
tell you right
Bill,
now.
you told Bill that
So
yourself.
it's Joe.
Joe, yeah, I always Bill Bailey, it's not Joe Bailey.
Because I admit, I did do that, but honestly,
Yeah, so
I
that's
can tell you
totally
right now,
unprofessional,
Okay.
unethical. That's unethical, actually.
I don't believe it, but.
And then
you're
your
entitled-
Facebook post after is totally unethical.
Again, it's not unethical.
It is
That's your opinion.
It's
I
not.
encourage you to go ahead and do what you have to
All
do,
right.
honestly. But I just want to let you know for the record, state police has nothing to do with the town of Middletown.
I know that. I just talked because I didn't know who to talk to, so I knew they would give me a direction to go to.
And by all means, if you want to go to the AG's office, ask for Sue Morrill, she'll walk you through the process.
Yeah.
But again, unless I violated the law or committed a crime, they're going to tell you there's really nothing you can do. You need to report to the selectmen. And
Yeah.
I'm telling the selectmen, I apologize, it wasn't the best choice of words. I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
The Milton Police Department's got a bad name to begin with. Because when I talked to that sheriff, he was like laughing at it. He's like, "Oh, good luck, brother." You know, on my way up.
Can I ask who that would be?
I have no idea. He's just a random sheriff from Carroll County. He looked like 30, black. Looked kind of like you, actually.
Black?
Or, yeah, brown, dark brown, black, you know.
Here's
Chief, I still haven't gotten an answer. So
Okay.
help me work this through. I'm upset with someone. I want a restraining order. Do I go to you? Or you say it goes to court? How does it go to court? Does it start with you and you bring it to court? Do I hire a lawyer?
There's multiple facets to the restraining order as well. If it's off hours when the court would be closed, you can go to the police department and request what they call an emergency restraining order.
That's what
Was this one an emergency one?
Yep.
This was an emergency restraining order, which means
And it came through Middleton Police Department?
correct. And then what happens is you guide the person through the paperwork, and then you call a judge on the phone who's on call for the
Which
weekend.
someone did in this
You
department.
did. You explain to them what the person is alleging. The judge makes a determination on if they're going to grant the restraining order or not, and then that person has until the end of the court day, the next day, to go to the court and then get a temporary restraining order. So you have emergency, temporary, and then your permanent, but it's year to year.
Fine.
And who serves the restraining order?
It'll be the police department or sheriff's department or pretty much any law enforcement here.
In your case, who served it on you?
Berlin Police Department.
So we faxed it up to Berlin because somebody
Okay,
got
so you
word that he
faxed
was
it.
in Berlin.
Alright. At any point, has there ever been an opportunity for you to go to, I guess it's your soon-to-be ex-wife's place to get stuff? Does that ever
She's-
happen with anything?
Nah, she's she's a scorned wife right now, so.
So it is she who said no
Yeah.
versus the Middleton Police
Well,
Department
the lawyer
saying,
that she's got's called Bach, and that's what he does, so. I mean, I moved into a house and the woman's getting a divorce too, and she went to him first, and he told her, well, once you do something, your husband does it, then we can file a restraining order against him.
okay, so you have not gotten any of your stuff out.
Well, I got, luckily I had stuff that was in the shop, but I got nothing since, my pickup truck was loaded with clothing. I have that, I'm
So-
close, I can go to work and stuff.
Did the Middleton Police, I heard that they offered, did they ever actually accompany you to this residence to get stuff?
No,
Did you go by yourself?
no.
Okay. Is the reason that you did not go to get your stuff because of lawyers or because of Middleton Police Department?
Because I don't want to go to jail.
Randy's-
I don't want to violate a restraining order, that's why.
So it was not the police department that refused to go?
I don't know where to go with this.
Well,
Is
did you
Middleton
refuse to go? It
Is
sounds like you offered to go for,
But she was gonna bring
20,
stuff
30
here
minutes.
originally. She's gonna bring stuff, I guess, I don't know, that's what I heard, and then I had a friend that was able to help me get my pickup trucks. I had my motorcycle, so I couldn't do the shuffle to Rochester, it's a long walk, So I had a friend that drove me over here, and I was able to get my pickup truck like a few days after.
Has,
I just see a difference between, is it Kim Fortin? Kim, saying, don't come,
Yeah.
versus the Middleton Police saying, we refuse to help.
Yeah, but I don't know why you're stuck on this, because all I'm complaining, I don't care about that part. I mean, what I'm complaining about is his reaction towards me. And the
Okay.
Facebook post with him reacting at me and him looking to try to see if my bike was inspected or not. That's
Okay,
all
so
I'm
It
complaining
was
about.
not that he
I'm not
refused
complaining
to
about
go.
them, because that is up to her. It's not up to anybody else. It's up to her whether I get my stuff or not.
Okay.
Yep.
it's important to me though.
Okay.
Did Middleton Police ever state to you that they will not help you get your belongings out of the house?
Yes, in the office, he told me when he was throwing me out that good luck, I'm not helping anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was there an argument in the beginning of that because he told you that you needed to pay for a detail?
No, originally it was agreed that she was going to bring stuff over here, and then I thought that we were working together, and then he said about the
you and your ex working.
no, me
together.
and him and the three of us,
Yeah.
the trifecta, and we were gonna, whatever was gonna happen, and then he was saying about the 4 hours, and I asked him about the written procedure thing, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have had. But whatever I did, I'm just Joe Schmo off the street that's dealing with a lot of stress between work, and I got an outage coming up, and I got my wife not letting me, and she's accusing me of things that, and she's saying I'm a Hell's Angel and all this stuff, just because you got a Harley, obviously, you got a Hell's Angel. And so when he was telling me that, I was like, yeah, if you have a written procedure, because in my head, I was a union rep, you got a union contract. You go through this union contract, and everything's in writing. So when you go to arbitration or anything, you fight based on words in the book.
I work with unions all day.
Okay,
long.
so
Past
anyways-
practices will kill you.
Yeah, past practices and stuff like that. And I always put memos on understandings whenever we do stuff like that. Anyway, so when he's told me that, I'm like, well, who the hell? If it was another guy, is it for free? If it's another guy, is it like 8 hours? It was like, how? If you have a written procedure, how can you have a rate? That's a pretty basic thing that you should have, I think, as a police department. Because that's what the Berlin Police Department said. We have a written procedure that after like 20 minutes, it's $200, whatever detail.
Isn't that what
cost.
the chief said after 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, but he said that it wasn't a written procedure.
Okay. Well, I will tell you on a personal note, just to let you know, and
Yeah.
I will go on record saying this, that I do personally have a restraining order against someone.
Yeah,
And in order for her to get her belongings, I needed a police detail.
yeah,
Because there will be more than 15 minutes.
yeah.
So, you know, I asked the chief what needed to be done.
Yeah.
How does she get her belongings? I do not want the belongings.
Mhm.
And the chief sat down and said, this is what you need to do. So as far as having something written, you know, in my eyes, he was professional with me, he was professional with her,
Yeah,
and the belongings are now in her possession.
well,
This was prior to being a selectman?
It was going on well prior to me being a selectman,
Okay.
and now 6 months later, you know, we got her
that's
stuff.
good and everything, but, you know, when you're talking to a police chief and they blow up at you, when you're in a tiny office space, first of all, it's not very comfortable in a tiny office space, and I'm like, I gotta get the hell out of here, because you hear too much about police being like that, and police brutality, and I got friends that are cops, and stuff like that happens, makes them have a bad name, so that's why people are all, whoa, this is you know, they're all scared of cops, and people hate cops. That's why people hate cops, because of this right here. And so I left, I'm like, I'm picking up my jacket, and I'm getting out of here, and I'm putting it on, and he's following me, I'm like, what the fuck? And then he's like eyeing my bike and going around it, and I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? And he's like, I'm looking for an inspection sticker. You know, that's what makes cops bad. That's what makes the perception of police bad. That right there. Totally unacceptable. That should not be a police chief that does stuff like that. Then when you write something on a Facebook post and then he responds with that garbage, that's nasty. That's derogatory towards me. Totally unprofessional.
Okay. So you're coming to the Board of Selectmen to file a complaint?
Yeah, I filed a complaint, and I'm willing to just if he wants to resign, he can just resign and go off and get another job someplace else.
Okay.
Yep.
And should he not resign?
I'm gonna pursue it further.
Okay.
And then you guys are gonna be in the newspaper. You know, this is all gonna be in the newspaper. It's gonna be in Foster, it's gonna be everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah, I know, but I'm just embarrassing for the town too, you know.
well, I mean, I don't have any.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just saying, you know, all that crap that goes with when the chief of police of a town's getting a complaint that he's, you know, saying he's gonna retaliate against a citizen. So, that's that, anyways. Unless somebody has any more
Did
questions.
you say he was going to retaliate?
No, yeah, he's looking for my inspection sticker. So if I had no inspection sticker, what do you think he would have done? Like said, oh, you need to get your bike inspected? If I had a burnt out taillight on my bike, do you think I would have left? I'm just being honest. I mean, bad cops, that's what they do.
Well, I mean, I can be honest too and say, you can come here and say that he threatened your life, or.
Well, he told Bill that he was looking at my bike, and he told, not Bill, Joe, sorry.
That's okay.
Anyways, he told him himself that he did, but he was looking to look at my bike, because he was thought it's a black road street glide. There are like 1,000 of them out there. There's nothing special. It's all dented and scratched. I've been to Montana on dirt roads with it, so it's nothing pretty to look at.
Any more questions?
No? Good.
Okay.
Chief, anything else that you wish to add, or?
I got nothing further.
Okay.
You all set, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm fine, yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna make a decision.
Yeah, I know that. That's why I told you. You got time.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
All right,
All right, thank you.
I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Alright, so, then back to the, anything else on new business? If not, we'll move into public participation.
Not much new except the garden tour was a success. We
How
ended,
many people?
About 30 people.
That's awesome.
Kind of hard to count because not everybody made it through every tour, and some people didn't bother coming to my place for the maps because they already had maps. So they might have started done things in reverse. We had an out-of-towner who stopped by, avoiding the traffic on Spalding Turnpike. He saw the sign and took the tour. He and his wife.
I do know that at my place, we have some new people who live up on Partridge, who just bought, and their son's getting ready to build a buy up there as well, and he says, I like your rocks. He's like, I gotta get some ideas from you, so, this is pretty good,
People
so.
said they got beauty, inspiration, and ideas. And,
Well, the biggest thing is, before the meeting tonight, just to let everybody know, Joanne raised $80, and she donated that over to the Recreation Committee for
Thank you.
it was
I really appreciate that.
a fair portion of that wasn't actually tickets, to be honest with you. People on Silver Street We have a huge vegetable area, by the way. Decided to put out whoopie pies and snacks and things like that, and people felt guilty and started making donations there. So it was a good time by all.
So, yeah, pretty cool. All right, thank you, appreciate the money. So, we have plenty of uses for it, so. All right, if we have nothing else in public, but just, go ahead.
I would like some information about the recreation department's plans for the Old Home Week, Family Fun Week. I looked at the rec department's Facebook page, and the last entry on there I think is like a year old or more. Is anybody maintaining that?
It's on the town website,
You can't do everything. Okay, so, well,
I just need to share it.
okay. All right, so the information's all of the, as to the schedule of the events, so I can put that in the paper.
So,
All right. That's it?
I guess
I
so.
move we move to a non-public as per RSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, A, at 7:33.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Me too.
Okay.
Well, we don't-
congratulations on the garden.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Please.
very good, appreciate that.
And unofficially, we were under the misapprehension that we could take recyclable things out.